Alright YouTube, what is going on? My name is Bigfoot and welcome back to episode number 32 of my Transport Fever series here on White Valley. In today's episode, I'm gonna have to come to a hard decision. And we're gonna have to get rid of the BT crude oil boats because I'm not moving stuff fast enough. The problem is I can't get enough boats on the route, which is, it's usually the capacity and I just need to move things faster. Trucks also can't do a good enough job, so I need to build a railway line, so I have to get rid of those boats, which I'm gutted about. However, what I will do instead is I will go ahead, and I still want to use this port, and we can go ahead and maybe ship stuff elsewhere. I'm thinking maybe round to Thaxt, so we can go ahead and still make use of it, because as we see right now, we are definitely making quite a bit of use of this one, which goes down to Newton. It's going ahead, and it's got, I mean, it's over a boatload. A boat can take 252 from what I can remember, so that's over a boatload there. Maybe I should go ahead and add another boat. I'm pretty sure there should be 3 boats on this route. I think there's a boat just pulling in, yeah, that makes sense. And then at this end, there is a lot to go into town. I probably need to maybe add some more trucks on. You can take 36, but there's a lot there, so just depends on how regularly the boats come down. You're at 66%, which is actually really good. Anything above 50% I think you could class as good with regards to fuel, machinery, construction materials, goods, food or tools. I should have just said shopping facilities and jobs instead of listing them all, but hey ho. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start off by building a railway line here because I think that is very much needed. That's something I always forget when I start a new recording session is to turn off. It's not bad to see the profit and losses, don't get me wrong, but when they all just appear at once, just all the maintenance happens at the same time. I wish it kind of didn't, because I would more likely keep it on. Could keep the green on, let's keep the green on actually. I think that might be a bit better. As you can see though, if you just look at Hetton, it is just crazy. That's why I tend to turn things off. I also want to go ahead and fidget around with the underground today, and we've also made some changes over in this part of the world, but we'll address them later on. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to build a train station pretty much roughly in this direction. Now, I could realistically have it maybe over here if I wanted to, and I could actually go ahead and lower this bridge if I wanted to too, but I'm quite happy with how the bridge is, to be honest. So what we're going to do is we're not actually going to join with these tracks because currently on this section anyway, there is already quite a few. There's 2 different trains. The fuel train which goes to Hetton and the fuel train which goes to Coburn. So I'm going to realistically run a single track which runs parallel to those 2 tracks. I don't think I will need anything more than just the 1 train going between the 2 towns. I don't think, or the 2 train stations, I don't think I'm going to need that. Just because I think the train should be sufficient. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something along those lines there. Then from here you're just going to meander up into here. Now the next thing we are going to need to do though is add in a 3rd station here, that is for sure. So we'll add in a 3rd. Now I'd like to maybe ship fuel elsewhere too. We could possibly go over to Kendal, though interestingly Kendal's got an oil refinery here too. I do really want to go ahead and start connecting up to more goods, and that's what we're going to do in the next, or maybe hopefully this episode. There's another oil well there. So I mean this part of the world has very much been untouched just with regards to passengers until very recently, and it's all sort of the same with goods as well. So I think I should go ahead and start to harvest a lot of industry over here just because it would help the smaller towns grow as well. Fordwich is still very small, and it's under 500 people, so it would really benefit this part of the world. Thaxt, these buses are doing crazy. I'm just getting a little bit distracted, but they're doing very well indeed. How's Kendal doing? Kendal's got a lot of people waiting, but I think it's for this bus here actually, the B Kendal Thaxt. Let me just go ahead, and I know I've got totally distracted here, but I want to have a look and see how this route is doing. Yeah, wow-y, all buses are full, and not enough of them evidently, is there? No, so we're going to go ahead and do an upgrade. What I think we will do is we'll go ahead and upgrade the type of bus. So I'll go from the City Bus 1, which it is right now, carrying 40 passengers, to a bendy bus, City Bus 2, which can carry 60 passengers. So we're going from this change here to this change here, just going ahead and increasing the capacity by 50%. So let's put that replace on. And then additionally on top of that, I would actually like to add more buses in as well. So you're going to come out the Thaxted bus depot, jump into passengers. Currently we've got, what, 6 buses, don't we? So if we add 1, 2, 3, 4 more buses to that route, that'll increase the capacity by some bit, and hopefully that will go ahead and ease congestion. As we can see, there's a lot of people waiting there for the bus to good old Kendal, which is crazy. Some numbers are very, very, very high, but can't complain. You know, it's going to make us those dollar bills. Right, okay, so I digress. What were we doing? We're working on a railway line, weren't we? So we need to come back into here. We need to pause the game. We're going to go ahead. We've got this third platform. I could go ahead and just make that high speed, just something I want to do. Right, so what we're going to need to do here is we're going to have to shuffle everything over realistically. So let me open up Line Manager and put you to the side. They'll put trains on so I can just see where the trains are at. As we can see, it's quite inefficient, this approach, as it is anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut most of this back. There is no need for 3 lines, which it's currently got. We're also going to have to temporarily get rid of that engine house there, which is fine. So that will do. That should be us cut back enough. So what I want to do now is I want to run you into there. Then I want to run this out, and I want to run that. I want to get these tracks nice and close together quite quickly. And then do that there. And then what we can actually do is we can go ahead and kind of don't want to run parallel to this track right here actually. I want to try and avoid that if possible. I just want to keep speed, so yes, that's much better. 186. And then if we can keep speed there, yeah, that's perfect. So we've just not merged with that track there. The reason I wanted to push these two platforms 2 and 3 tracks together is so I could have a crossover, which we are going to successfully implement here. This is flat land, so yes, I can get a crossover, and let's go ahead and change that to double switch, which is perfect. That should make things a little bit more efficient for both train routes as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to run right beside here, just for a little bit, to be honest. You're going to have to start going downhill quite quickly though. So what we can do is we can just do that there. Yeah, we're going to have to go for something like that. That allows for a lot of speed, and it's going to be single track just because it's such a short distance. And I don't think we'll have that much fuel to move. I can make this train really, really long, just based on the length of the 2 train stations, and that should resolve my issues. Okay, so what we need to do now is just jump the terminals from 1 to 3. So as we can see, that is these 2 routes now upgraded, which is nice. So I do need to go ahead and sort out some signaling issues though. So we're going to need a signal there, we're going to need a signal there, and we're going to need a signal there, which is fine. And that is basically that sorted. We don't need any signals on this single track. Wowee, that is some sentence, isn't it? And the good thing is we actually don't need to build another engine shed either, which is good. So what I would like is that there, so as we can go ahead and use this train depot and serve all 3 tracks. Right, we're going to go for the fastest locomotive possible and all the wagons. So wagons, let's go into filter by freight. And let's see, again, we've not really gone ahead and added too many more wagons. And I did think about it with regards to this and the steel route. Because, and the planks for that matter actually, because these state cars are very limiting at 13. However, I am unsure if I should bring in these sort of mods. I could quite easily if I wanted to, but I feel it would ruin, instead of having maybe like 4, for example, I believe on the steel train, or the planks train, that's probably a better example. From over here, we're making planks. We've currently got 4 trains going along this short distance into here. Then if I was to go ahead and get better wagons, then it would reduce it to 3, but it would just remove that logistical problem which we are having. And I feel it could sort of ruin the game, so tell me if I should go ahead and add in better mods with regards to wagons, because I'm not really at all sure. I could, as I said, increase capacity, but I'll let that decision be made by yourselves. Okay, let's keep this on automatic. I do want to make them yellow. I don't know why, just a bit of a change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 we're gonna risk. Then we're gonna go for good old locos. We're gonna go for an electrical one. Class, I think the class 103 is probably the fastest we have with regards to locomotives. I'm just gonna have a very quick look about this. They're wanting to make them all yellow, which is kind of fun. Are there any others which are faster? You can go 137. Though these locomotives, I'm pretty sure, are actually part of... I mean, they don't look very good. I'm not gonna lie, they don't look good on the front of the train. It looks like it should be parts of passenger trains, to be honest. I don't know much about them. The description's in German, so I don't, unfortunately, speak German. I speak very basic German. Hallo, guten Morgen, ich heiße Callum, ich wohne in Schottland. But that's literally it, so nothing really beyond that, to be honest. I can have a very basic conversation, you know. Ein Pommes bitte, I can get myself some food. I can maybe ask where a certain place is, but outside of that, nah, I've not got any hope in hell. Alright, okay, so crude oil here. Let's go ahead and make that the G crude oil. So we've got 3 routes named G crude oil. We've got a truck route, so we've got a boat route, and we've also got a train route now as well, which is kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and take this train 96. Let's go ahead and assign this to the G crude oil. Now that should go ahead and change things at this end, hopefully, and take the pressure off the trucks. I don't know if I will be keeping the trucks or not. We're definitely scrapping the boat, so that's definitely something which is happening. Though I think I will leave the ports in here for the time being, because they could be useful at another stage. As we can see, the boats are not making a profit. So what I want to do, one of the boats we're actually going to go ahead and assign. You're going to jump onto... We could keep all the boats, you know that actually, we really could. Nah, let's just sell them all for the time being and we'll just buy new boats if we need to. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and close that route. So now we're down to just, unfortunately, 1 boat route, which is fine. Okay, so we're finally getting some demand building up here, but most of it looks like it is still towards the trucks, which I'm not a fan of at all. I don't know what to do here. With regards to your capacity, this train has a capacity of 300. It's all in yellow, by the way, even the locomotive. Yeah, that looks absolutely monstrous, doesn't it? I mean, to be fair, the wagons don't look too bad. The loco looks awful. Absolutely awful. I'm not a big fan of this. It's too modern for my liking, to be honest. I mean, it is the most efficient. That's why I've gone for it in this case. Wagons are not that bad, to be honest. They just stick out against the yellow. It is quite a contrast, to be honest. You fit in the station perfectly, absolutely perfectly, to a wagon, which is good. So you're going to go ahead and clear out most of this, which is nice to see. And how will that do? So that train's not even full, which I feel we're not really reaching its full potential, to be honest. I feel too much stuff's going over here, which I want to go ahead and change. I could go ahead and delete the trucks from here, but then at the same time I feel we would have to go ahead and add a second train onto here, which is very doable, and I think that's what we're going to have to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's jump into here, G crude oil, but this time for trucks. Let us go ahead and... Where do we want to go into here? It's the G, it's crude, it's oil. I mean, it's doing so well, but it's just not feasible, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and sell all of those, and we're going to delete that route once more, which is fine. So that means now everything's transferred over to here. So we're definitely going to need a second train on this going forward. I've also realised as well, you're not high speeds. Again, just a little thing that bugs me. Did that even upgrade there? Yeah, it is. I think it's just the colour of the sleepers maybe or something. Because as we can see here, the sleepers are different. High-speed track and high-speed track in with a station are slightly different. The sleepers are, first of all, they look like stone sleepers. These look like wooden sleepers. And second of all as well, their spacing's quite different as well. But I digress. Anyway, right, let's go ahead and get a junction in here, like so. Now, there's no way you can get more than 2 trains on this route, so we're just going to go ahead and build for 2, though that makes things quite easy. as we can see here, going to run right along nicely into about here, and then you're going to merge into there, which is nice. With regards to signaling, this will not take long at all. So one signal there, then I'm going to need to have signals at quite close spacing, just due to the fact that the trains are going to be moving quite frequently, quite close together. It's not a long line at all, so having signals quite close together allows the trains to not have to wait on each other too much. And as we can see, there we have it. That's just completed that line. So signals compared to the other tracks are much closer together, but as I've said, it will make things a little bit more efficient, a bit more beneficial. Okay, so that train's doing good. As we can see, it's filled up, but we definitely need a second, so we're going to go ahead and get onto that straight away. I am guessing that production has dropped here. Surprisingly not, but we can go ahead and make it even better. I think we need to go ahead and increase the output. That is something which we need to do. I could, and I am tempted now to go ahead and bring Industry Tycoon into this game to go ahead and start and increase the production rates up to maybe 3200, though again I feel I've not touched enough industry to bring that in yet, so I think we'll just go ahead and leave that for the time being until we get more industry, because there's so much of the map's industry we've just not touched yet at all. Right, I'm going to go ahead and very quickly put another train onto the track, so let's go for wagons. We're going to go for, not going to go for yellow this time, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and breathe. Locomotives, we're going to go for the same type of one, to be honest, just because of its speed. Though I don't really know how much speed it actually gets to, but I'm just going to leave it for the time being and hope that it does get up to the good speeds. Though on such a short track, I don't know if it does, to be honest. But when going downhill, there is a bit of downhill, and when all the wagons are empty, I can see it possibly reaching that. But that's that sorted. Okay, so we're going to jump away from there, and we're going to come to this section here. So at the end of the last episode, I said that I wanted to go ahead and upgrade some lines here. So currently what we've got, this is our setup, and it's quite, there's too many trains here, that's the problem. So currently in the middle 4 tracks, I've added 2 tracks to each side. We are sharing 4 different routes, and a lot of these routes, minus the, I believe, yellow routes out of these 4 colours, have more than 1 train. The grey route has 4 trains, Hetton planks. Purple one has 4 trains, and that carries coal. Yellow is the Hampstead goods, which only has 1 train, and then the brown train must be the steel train, which I think there's about 3 of them all in all. So you can really tell that there's just a little bit too much, a bit of inefficiency, if you will, to be honest. I mean, this train is just going through the tunnel there. You probably can't see this very well, but train going through the tunnel there, and the next planks train is right behind it, which is crazy, and then the next one is just about to pull in as well. It's just coming down the hill, so very much I think we just need to go ahead and just spread these trains out a little bit, which is easy enough to do. So I've already gone ahead and started off by adding in some tracks, and this is what we're going to go ahead and expand upon. So currently, as we can see to this stage here, we have got the brown steel trains, and then we've got the purple coal trains. So I'm going to go ahead and double this track up, going to make it 4 wide, and we're going to go ahead and segregate these 2 routes, as I think it will allow for just that better efficiency, which we are aiming for. So that is what I'm going to do. Now this is going to cost quite a lot of money, because we're adding in essentially an extra 4 tracks, and it should make for more efficiency. That's the real long-term aim here. But also you need to consider as well the impact on the amount of trains that are going to be moving around this area. I think it's going to make for some really nice thumbnails going forward. Okay, so we're going to wait for this. This is a coal train returning. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wait for that to get out the way. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start to segregate these off. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to switch you 2 guys' platforms first of all. So as we can see here, 1 and 2 you are just through. So this is going to go to 4. and you're going to go to 3. There's a reason for this, because the coal keeps going, and it is on... I'm not describing this very well, am I? So the coal's been moved into platform 4, where currently this steel train is. But the reason for that is because further down here, the steel train turns in and goes into, which looks like platform 4 at this steel train station here, whereas the coal trains keep going. So I don't want to have a crossover down here. That's realistically what I'm not aiming for. So as we can see, what we really want to do is just do that. And then we just want to go ahead and do something like that, for example, going forward. So instead of these coal trains, purple trains using this tracks, they'll go into this siding here, or these 2 tracks. Then they'll come all the way along here, and then they'll arrive in here, which is good. And then what they'll do is they'll merge together and merge into that platform, which is nice to see. So now let's go ahead and allow for this. Let's go ahead and cut you back and cut you back. Then what we're going to do is we're going to extend this a bit, and then we're going to expand you into there like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have you come out here, though the construction is not possible. I think I made this junction just a little bit too close for that matter. So if we go ahead and have you, for example, there and run into there, which is nice, and then if we have you run to there, have you come along here and merge about, what, there? Yeah, right, there we go, perfect. So as you can see, my master plan has worked and come together. And then at this other end over here, it should be okay. I will optimize this. This is very inefficient and very slow right now. I think trains could lose quite a bit of speed, but just because you're going to be continuing on the old track for the time being, we'll leave it as it is. Actually, this could cause problems. We're going to go ahead and send you backwards. I just need this train to come into the siding ASAP. That's the thing, because at the other end now there is no junction. So I need you to go off to the side here. Though I need to signal this all up as well. That's probably why it's waiting for a free path. I need to go ahead and just check out where my coal trains are. So there's one there, there's one halfway down here. Not another one down here, which is kind of a worry. So if we follow this track round here... Are you a coal train? No, you are a steel train. Then... you are a coal train and you're on the old track, so that's fine. So I have to leave that connection for now. That'll sort that out. Then with regards to over here, similar story on the other side of the tracks. We have got too many plank trains and we've also got a goods train. It's not working out too well here. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and... I don't know which can go where, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and first of all chase this train out. Though if you've gone into the station, that's probably better. Though the train is still there. There's a train there. Or is that just a glitch? That's just a glitch, right? That makes my life a lot easier, which is good. So if we jump over to this end, what is the setup? Terminals. So we've got the goods coming into platform 1. Right, okay, so that means goods needs to become the outside, which is fine. Is goods platform 1 here? Goods is platform 1 here, which is perfect. Right, okay. So this means we can go ahead and put that into there. Put that along... I'll have you going a bit further along, and then you're going to merge into there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have this come out of here. And then you're going to run into there, which is nice. And then we're going to run you along here. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing now. You're going to merge. Yes. And the yellow line's going to go into that one there, but it's not for some reason, which is odd. So that alignment and assignment is fine there. What's going on down here? So because I've not connected things up yet, which is fine. So let's go ahead and tidy up this junction here, really. This needs to go ahead and get sorted out. So let's allow for that. Then let's have this track come into there. And if we extend this along here a bit, have you go into there. That is perfect. And then with regards to this line, yep, that's good colour to see. Then have you merge into there. Bit too close, that's fine. We'll cut you back a bit. Expand you along here to what there. And then have the merger in there, which is perfect. And because there's only one train and because there's no signals right now, it hasn't updated. We've also got an extra track in the middle here, but that's fine. We can go ahead and tidy that up at a later stage. But as you can see, there's a lot of tracks here now, isn't there? It's really cool. I've never had a map, I don't think, where I've had 8 tracks beside each other. I've had 6 before, but not 8. And they're all going to be really busy as well. You do need to remember that. That's one of the reasons why we went for this upgrade. So ladies and gentlemen, I need to go ahead and now signal all this up, make sure all the trains are aligned on the right tracks, because I know that 1 or 2 that aren't. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward very quickly here. So with that change now complete, I'm happy to say that all is good, surprisingly. There was only 1 train conflict which I had, but as we can see, things are going to be so much better going forward here. So this is really what the final product looks like. Every single route which goes along here now has its own tracks, though there is still some queues, which is a bit disappointing. As we can see here, our Hetton Planks train is coming in. Maybe you don't have a signal along here actually. I need to go ahead and put one further up. I mean, maybe there are still a few teething problems, but as we can see, one of the big motivations behind this, because we aren't moving enough planks from here, that's really the bottom line. Hopefully now that should go ahead. I don't want to add another train, because I think we've got 4 in this short distance. Let me go ahead and check. We're looking for G, we're looking for Hampstead Planks, or Hetton Planks. G, Hetton Planks. Yeah, I've already got a massive 4 trains on here, which is crazy. So I don't really want to go ahead and increase that. The problem is the trains can't carry a lot just due to the wagon size, which is kind of frustrating, only 221. But I do have 2 forests go ahead and bringing wood into here from over here. And then we've also got another one over here. Though I'm tempted to go ahead and reroute this one because it's not doing very well, but that is for another time. Right, that's that problem solved, which is good. We've still got a good bit of time in this episode, so I want to touch on a few more things. First of all, check on how the planes are doing. Still only 1 route in the profit, which is frustrating. The Doncaster to Hetton is, I mean, it's got passengers on it, and it's one of the ones which is likely to make profits. Really disappointed about this here. We've got the, this is, what is this route? This is from MC here over to, I thought this would be actually quite popular, you know that, but it's not been, which is quite gutting. So that goes from Maidstone Coburn up here to Hetton Bangor. What I am going to do is I'm going to downgrade the planes if you're not profitable then. Just because the yaks are much better with regards to running costs, so much better, and they're not too much slower. Again, I can't remember your name. You did suggest that way back in like episode 19 or something, go ahead and get those planes into the game. And as we can see, there is people waiting here. So if we go ahead and just get rid of those Boeing 737 Lufthansa planes, replace them with yaks, we're more likely to turn a profit. Okay, so while I was talking earlier on in this episode, good thing is it looks like we're making a lot more fuel. Quite happy about that. There's 2 things I said that I wanted to do earlier on in this episode, and it was to start working on goods over here. So I do want to build a ferry from here, this empty ferry terminal, round to the town of Thaxt, just so we can go ahead and get some goods into here. And in the back of my eye, I also seen 2 farms and also a processing Kendall processing plant over here, which I think would be quite useful to go ahead and connect up to towns. So that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we could actually use the gold mine one. I like the look of that a bit more, to be honest, just because it would allow for a perfect connection into gold mine. And that could really help a very small town out. Gold mine has got to be one of the smallest towns with regards to people. Second smallest behind Fordwich, which doesn't surprise me, so we can go ahead and help these 2 towns out, and I'd be very happy to do that. There's actually quite a few farms round about here. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. No, sorry, that's a food processing plant. There's 1 there, and there's also 1 here, which is crazy. I kind of wish there was more food processing plants in the area, because there is only 1, and that's down there. It's not the most ideal location, is it? Or sorry, you're a food processing plant. Getting a little bit muddled there. I do apologise, my bad, totally. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off by getting some more of this fuel round to here, and then we'll go from there. So where are we going to have this fuel terminal? Probably down by the bottom here. With regards to the town of Thaxt, the goods is at the total wrong ends, but we can go ahead and add in a truck route. That is no problem at all. So let's add in this cargo harbour. Rotate you around, and I want you in there. There is navigatable waters. We might have to re-alter this bridge though, that's the only thing, but that shouldn't be a problem in the slightest. So with regards to this end of the project, we're going to go ahead and just connect you up like that. We'll come back and do a truck route, because I just want to make sure we can move this bridge. I know that sounds a weird question, but there can often be... It's not even that, it looks like there's quite jaggy edges along here, so I'm just wanting to make sure there is definitely a route for this boat to go on. Because I think that if it gets maybe a bit too thin here, I'm hoping that everything should be okay, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm having a look as well, we could possibly... The problem is, I really like the rivers in this game, I really do, but they're just a bit too thin on this map. I wish I could modify them, you know that. I really do. The next map we're going to go for... I've got an idea what I want to do for next map. I want to go for an archipelago sort of scene, so lots of different islands, and really focus on planes, and it really wouldn't allow for trains. That's what I want to do. I would really love that. As much as I love trains, it'd be nice to go ahead and essentially really not be able to use trains at all. That would give you so many challenges. Allow for lots of boats, planes as well. Imagine that, having like really small planes, island hopping. Oh. The ideas I've got in my head. That's why I think it'd be a really good idea to go for something along those lines. Anyway, we're miles off that. That's probably a October, November, possibly even December project. So it's a long time away. Anyway, what we're going to have here is we're going to have this raise up. Like so. Then we're also going to have the same on this side. You're going to connect, you are, and then we're just going to draw that between you two there, which is perfect. That should be plenty elevation, and we should be good. My worry is here, for example, there's no running navigatable waters. They're only just connected by a corner. I'm assuming it will allow for a boat route to be built in between these two, but your guess is as good as mine until I do this. Yes, right, okay, that is fine, and that will be allowed. Perfect, right, okay, so we're gonna call this BT, and then it's actually fuel, it's not oil, Callum, and then it's gonna be BT fuel, and then this is gonna be a town of Thaxt, actually, which is perfect. While we're at this, I'm just gonna go ahead and change this name to what it should be, F-U-E-L, fuel, and then a space. Right, voila. That is that sorted, so we can now go ahead and add in some boats. This shipyard is redundant right now, though I'm going to leave it just in case I decide to go ahead and do anything else with it at a later stage. There's always possibilities. Right, let's get the Viola, let's get 1, 2. Let's go for 3, because that's what we've got for the route to Newton. And let's go ahead and get that in there, so they will start deploying shortly. It's also a lot longer to go from this area over here where we're producing the fuel round to Thaxt than to Newton Abbot. Newton Abbot's only a small journey, whereas it's much more of a round trip to get up to Thaxt. Okay, so with that said, I need to do something else. We need to do trucks at this end and get a nice large truck depot up by the industry. So what I want to do here is jump into road vehicles, we're going to jump into cargo depots, we're going to go for city medium. We're going to turn this filter on here and see what we can do. So what I would really like to do is maybe have it there. That's a really good corner. Though in saying that, we could possibly have it like here. That would maybe be a tiny bit better, to be honest. Yeah, let's allow for that. And then what I'm also going to do, just so we can provide these factories back here with some goods, is just draw a road from, I don't know, there to there maybe? If it's allowed, yes it is, so that now adds sphere of influence to there as well, so that's really nice truck depot. And then with regards to the one down by the water here, gonna be a bit of a smaller kettle of fish, if we can actually even get this in. Stick you there, for example, I mean that'll be fine, and that's what will allow for our basic truck route to just go through the town. So we jump into road vehicles, line manager, lower Thaxt to Thaxt Halt. I really should go ahead and just go and name this whole map. I might do that at the end, because I'm going to make this map a downloadable map at the end. This is just going to be the G, and then this is Thaxt Goods is what it is. So Thaxt, and then Goods, and voila. Right, okay, so let's buy some road vehicles. Now, we're going to go for what I would guess. I could go for something like this. It does allow for fuel, and I think we will because I might have some other goods. I would maybe go for a tanker typically, but the thing is, I think I will have other goods coming into that port, so I want to go for automatic trucks. So we're going to allow for 4 of these to operate in this town, and this is the G Thaxed goods. So let's get you guys on the move. What route do you take actually? You're going to cause problems for the buses? Not too much problems. You do go through that straight there, but there's kind of no avoiding that right now. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. Right, so that is that started, which is nice to see. Okay, so with that said, we have a few more minutes in this episode where I want to go ahead and start some more new goods industry. What do I want to go for? There's a few things. I think it is going to be food. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get food into... Oh, I'm just having a browse here actually. I mean, there's also an oil refinery here. Where is there an oil well? I'm pretty sure I found one earlier. There's also some forests very close to some sawmills, but then sawmills are required for over here. So that could be a train line, a straight train line which goes into there. And we'd need steel to go into there as well though, which there's coal there. Is there any iron around here? Not overly, is there? That's a real shame, a real shame. There's stone there, but that's really not what I need. Okay, yep. Unfortunate, I mean it is a bit of luck of the draw to be honest. There's an oil well over here. I think we're just going to have to start with food is what we're going to do. What about goods? Plastics? We've not made any of that this game. Not made any goods at all yet. I mean this is going to be our first foods to be fair as well. So let's allow for this. What I want to do is I'm going to be, I'm going to prematurely build this. So we're going to go ahead and have large trains, just because I expect the rise very quickly. So let's have a train station in this direction, and you're going to serve, I'm going to build a large goods station for this town, probably in, what I'd want is something like this actually. And then in there, so we're gonna pre-build this again. I'm just building for the future here, so it's gonna have to be 2 platforms, but something like that. Now, will this be in sphere of influence? It should be. Let me go ahead and add in, I mean that's not gonna be because that's very inefficient, so let's join you into there. Are you guys in sphere of influence of each other? No. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to go ahead and very quickly sort this out, so I'll be back with you in 1 second. So this is the setup I've gone for, very weavy and snaky as you can see, but the good thing is these two are in sphere of influence of each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the track come over to here. It's actually going to be a very short train for that matter. But then the good thing is the food can just basically get drove straight into town, if I'm right. Yeah, you produce just food, don't you? Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so we can allow for this quite easily, which is good. So unfortunately my game went ahead and crashed, which is a bit problematic there. So I actually already built the line, but I'm going to have to go ahead and rebuild it here. So what I'm aiming for is, I want to go ahead and try and follow the contour lines and try and achieve a nice line over to... We need to go down a bit really to the other station, so we're going to be able to go ahead and achieve that. We're going to try and keep a decent amount of speed though, that's one thing I do want to aim for. Just due to the fact that I do want the train to go relatively fast, as fast as we possibly can. We're going to probably have to have a small tunnel coming in here. It's not too large a tunnel and I think that should be okay. So it does keep a fair amount of speed. If we go ahead and have a look though, it's... yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's got this corner here isn't the best, but it only drops down to 83, and 83 by any means isn't slow, and when you're coming up the hill, it shouldn't be too bad anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in, just because we're adding in one train, we don't need to worry about signalling, or we need to not worry about a second track, which is good. For now, there will be a time when it will come, but we will address that at some stage. Okay, so locomotive time. Now, because we're going to be going uphill, and because I just feel like going for a classic train we are, what kind of classic train are we going to go for? Recently I've been taking locomotives that I've been aiming for efficiency, but because this is a starting out new route, we don't really need to worry about efficient locomotives at this current stage. They will probably be replaced with more efficient locomotives at a later stage, but We can go for something like a class. What are we going to go for? A really efficient train? No, we're going to go for a classic train. Let's go for the British Rail Class 47 large logo on the side. I think that'd be quite nice. Or Class 37. No, let's go for a Class 37. I like the look of the Class 37. It is a very nice colour. So with regards to the goods we're going to be transporting, it's coming out the farm here. And it's going to be grain and livestock. Now, what caused my game to crash 2 seconds ago was one of those wagons, which I'm really worried about now. So if we go in here, go to freight. What I want to do is I want to carry goods in these here. However, what happened last time is these crashed, which is problematic. So I'm very, very scared to go ahead and use one of those TJ Napis wagons. What we are going to do for livestock though, we can make this train about 20 long. What we're going to go for is just the classic AAR boxcars to carry the livestock, and we can carry 18 in them. Then with regards to grain, I think, are you guys all part of the same mod pack? You guys are, so none of those, technically I don't have these. So that means we're going to have to go for some of these, which is only 13, which is really, really low, but it's going to have to happen. So let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The reason for this is because the boxcars, I can get more in boxcars, so I need less boxcars. As we can see, we're going to be able to carry 156 grain to 144 livestock. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so let's finally go ahead and make this line up. I realise this episode's gone over a bit in time. I do apologise, though I'm sure a lot of you actually like when the episode goes over in time. That's not a problem. So we'll go ahead and build that there. This is going to be the G. This is gold mine. And this is, what is it? It's like raw food is what it is. It's not actual in its final product yet. So this is, we're just going to call you live stock, I think we'll call you, which is fine. And then we need to go ahead and get this train assigned. So this is the G gold mine livestock, which is good. Go ahead and get rid of that filter there. Now what I need to do is actually get the goods into town as well. That's also going to be quite important to go ahead and drive demand. So let's get a road depot in here. Again, cargo station, medium for city. They're just so good. Honestly so good, and it's going to go in there because that's a perfect location. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a smaller depot. I mean, I think we might actually have quite a... We'll go for a medium one out here as well, just because I can see us using this train station quite a bit going forward, just because it's in a really, really convenient location, which I'm quite happy about. So with that said, all we need to do is go ahead and create the truck route, go back into road vehicles, line manager, from there to there, you're going to be the G, you're going to be the town of Gold Mine, and you're going to be goods, because this will carry other goods on top of food, I imagine, going forwards. Finally, we just need to go ahead and go to the road. That's a tram depot. Do we have a road depot? We won't have a road depot in this town, will we? No. Alright, we can go ahead and do that out here. Grab ourselves the vanilla road depot. And there we go, right, that's that built perfectly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and see what we can get up to. So passengers, let's go ahead and see here what we have got. We're not looking at passengers though, Callum, we're looking at freight. So I need something for everything. Realistically, we know what we're going to go for. We're going to go for these large trucks here. I think we're going to go for these Scana Blue this time. Looks like it is a company called LKW Walter. So you're going to be able to carry grain. Yeah, I can actually carry grain and food. We just need to go ahead and carry food though. So let's allow for that. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, I think, to start off with, just because it's going to be quite a short route. So you're going to go into the G Gold Mine Goods, which I cannot see. There we go. G Gold Mine Goods. So you guys are good to go, which is nice. So hopefully now things should start ticking. Where's the train? The train's on its way up, with nothing on it. Understandable. Your production should now begin, assuming you guys are in Sphere of Influence, which you are. So what we'll do is we'll touch back on this in a second anyway. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's us pretty much done with this episode. As we can see, things are doing a lot better here, I think. Obviously, production has increased here. Just going ahead and segregating the lines, which I'm happy about. We might need to reinstate a second train, which takes goods into Hetton. Though I don't think it is. It's actually for Hampstead. So we need to maybe add a second train on there, which I'm happy to see. Hopefully this town is having a major benefit. Let's have a look and see. Let's click on the word Hampstead. So I mean, they're still quite low, but it's just because of the size of Hampstead. It's not really actually, we are bringing a lot of stuff in, but we can make that better. We can probably also go ahead and add in another planks train now that we've got segregated tracks, which could be useful. And outside of that, I'm very happy there. How are we doing over here with the fuel? We are producing a lot more fuel with these two trains. This is maxed out and the fuel is moving at a very fast rate. Not every train is filling up, interestingly, but we are keeping up with the demands. Then the output here, I can imagine, must be really high. Please tell me you're a Hetton train. You're not a Hetton train. Okay. Well, we can maybe add another. You must be a Hetton train. Yeah, you are a Hetton train, which is nice to see. So that should clear a lot of that backlog. With regards to the two towns, the Newton fuel is doing good. Are you a Newton boat? You are. And then Thaxt as well. Thaxt has kicked off in this episode. It's on 0%, so obviously the boats are still getting going. We did just only set that up though, which is understandable. It looks like as well there's a lot more pressure taken off the buses now with these upgrades to 60-seaters. Quite happy about that indeed. Eventually we will change the trains, but I don't know when that will be. We have an error though, this is not good, is it? Alright, I'll go ahead and deal with that momentarily. Outside of that, did we do anything else this episode? I don't think we really did, to be honest. It was a lot of work on this line here, and then also over here. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, we did do one little last thing, and that was go ahead and change the planes for this route here. And as we can see, we're getting very close to the profit on that one, which I'm quite excited about. The MC to Hetton we might have to go ahead and get rid of. It's just not doing good at all, is it? Arguably the frequency isn't very high, so we can go ahead and maybe promote that. But I'd also like to build another airport shortly too. I think that would be very much worth doing. Doncaster is definitely grown because of the airport, but I feel we can go ahead and maybe connect up to another town. Maybe even out in this way now. Maybe go ahead and put one maybe in around Thaxt and Goldmine. That wouldn't be a too bad idea. And then that could connect up to Hetton possibly. The problem is Hetton is so central that it's going to struggle with anywhere it flies to. It's not going to be very good routes. Whereas this airport here is a bit further up. It's a wee bit tucked out the way, which is good to see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have enjoyed this video. Please leave it a like, rate and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that comment section below, give me some feedback. Go ahead and share this video with a friend. It would really, really help me and the channel grow. And that's all, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.